Hey, fellows and felons, the Comics Kid 2099 here to discuss an episode of a superhero animated series like I do on Saturdays. Today, I'll be talking about the new Batman Adventures episode, You Scratched My Back. If you haven't seen the episode, I urge you to do so before you proceed with this video. But if you have seen it, but it's been a while, allow me to refresh your memory with a quick plot synopsis before I get into the review itself. We get our first glimpse of Dick Grayson's new superhero identity, Nightwing, and he's none too pleased to have Batman and Batgirl horning in on his action while he's stalking a bad guy who I will just call Latin Captain Hook. Nightwing gets snippy with Bruce and Babs, but doesn't seem to mind a potential partnership with Catwoman, or at least isn't as against it as he was help from Batman and Batgirl. He and Catwoman team up, but shocker, she was playing him all along to get some jewel thing. But the real twist is that Nightwing was playing her and was working with Batman and Batgirl. They defeat Catwoman as well as Latin Captain Hook and his flunkies. Cue credits. So I kinda knew that this series wasn't going to actually explain the schism between Dick and Batman, since there was a 3-issue comic book miniseries, Batman The Lost Years, devoted to filling in those gaps. If they had explained it in this series, we wouldn't have needed the comic book. But I still wish we could have had just a little bit more of an explanation than the one line we got in Sins of the Father, nobody can be a boy wonder forever. And while we're at it, I wish this episode had come immediately after Sins of the Father. I had actually watched Sins of the Father something like 15 years ago, and when I saw the ending of the episode as a youth, I just assumed that that was a sort of cliffhanger teasing the big sort of reunion in the next episode. No such luck. It just seems sort of anticlimactic to seemingly set up the big he's back episode and then not even do it for 2 episodes. And then when you finally do revisit Dick, it just glazes past all of the stuff that I wanted to see whenever we got to see Dick at the end of Sins of the Father. But no more about that. I feel like I've already beaten the dead horse of continuity in this series enough. So I'm not really sure if I like any of the good guys very much in this episode. Part of this comes from me not being entirely sure how much of their banter is them hamming it up for Catwoman. But Batgirl is acting really catty about Nightwing accepting Catwoman's help, which is extremely hypocritical, since the last time we saw Catwoman, Batgirl actively went out of her way to stop Dick from apprehending her. So anything Catwoman has done since that episode is all on Batgirl's hands, including any snuggle time she might get up to with Nightwing. And let's just go ahead and address that. We get a hint that Batgirl has a thing for Nightwing, which is news to me. Yeah, I mentioned in the review for the episode Batgirl Returns that I ship Nightwing and Batgirl over Batman and Batgirl, because they have a relationship in the comics, and also it's really weird and creepy to have a guy who is twice Batgirl's age kinda sorta being with her, as was hinted in Batman Beyond and in the Mystery of the Batwoman movie. But only in the comics do Nightwing and Batgirl have a relationship. If you're just watching this show, as of this episode coming out, the best that you can say is that these two are platonic buddies when Dick asks her if she wants to grab a bite to eat when she's studying, and she shoots him down in the episode Batgirl Returns. So Batgirl acting all jealous because her man has moved on might feel a little bit more honest if these two actually had a relationship in this series. Yes, there's an unspecified time skip in between Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures, so maybe they had a fling in that time skip, but we did not get to see that. So this business of her trying to rekindle something still doesn't float, because we have no idea what the stakes are, because we never saw the relationship in the first place. And if you listen to me rant endlessly about Batgirl having sex dreams about Batman, and you want me to say what's good enough for the goose is good enough for the gander in regards to Nightwing and Catwoman, well, I won't. Like I said, I have no idea how much of this is actually genuine, and how much is these guys playing each other. Catwoman obviously is just using Nightwing to get to the jewel, but does she actually think that he's a cutie pie? Is she just trying to make Batman jealous? Not to bring my own knowledge and experiences from the comics into this review too much, but there is a Nightwing comic where Catwoman is trying to flirt with Nightwing and fails when Nightwing just laughs it off. So I can kind of see her using him just to push Batman's buttons. But then Nightwing saying that he doesn't seem to mind a partnership with her, who knows? Is that part of the plan? Or is he genuinely an idiot? I don't know, but this isn't the same situation as when Batgirl fantasized about kissing Batman. If we got a later episode of Nightwing kissing a picture of Catwoman, then you can bet the farm that I will have some things to say about that. A few minor points. I like Catwoman's redesign. There wasn't really anything wrong with her old costume, but I like this one more, with the exception of her skin being ghostly white when she's in costume. Don't get that. Also, I like her redesign as Selina Kyle. I don't know why, but I never liked Selina as a blonde. Here, she kinda reminds me of Angelina Jolie circa Hackers, or even Anne Hathaway, oddly enough, from One Day. Also, no Robin in this episode, so yay. I know this can't last, but not having him in the episode, or at least relegating him to a minor role, is working well for me, except when it annoyed me because his exchanges with Bruce should have been explored and expanded for the entire episode. Overall, I like this episode okay. I know it seemed like I had nothing but negatives here, but the episode serves the purpose of showing us that even though Nightwing does want to be his own man, he's still on good enough terms with his comrades that he'll work with him to take down the baddies. Maybe we could have gotten this same character arc in a way where I would have had fewer complaints, but it's an alright episode. Not as good as Double Talk, but better than Sins of the Father and cold comfort. So those are my thoughts on this episode. Hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you did like this video, you're in luck because I do this sort of thing every Saturday. And I also do other videos throughout the week, so be sure to check those out too if you're interested. In the meantime, I'll see you guys in the future. Have a great rest of the day.